Welcome guys, it's Mike again and I have another video for you. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my frog pond, but before we get to that, wrist check, and it is the beautiful MRG G1000D. That just looks so nice in the light, doesn't it? Full titanium, full of everything, just a beautiful piece, and it will be with me all day today. A group of friends of mine are doing what's called an abstinence August, where you don't buy any watches in August and you wear one watch for the day for every day of August. So if you don't have 31 watches to wear one a day, then you cycle through your watches again, but you just wear one a day and no purchasing. For me, that will be easy for obvious financial reasons. But for some of those guys, I'm telling you, it's a struggle already, and we're only on what? August 2nd. So anyway, that should be interesting. But guys, I'm gonna share the pond with you today, and I just want to have a little chat as well regarding my Canadian viewers. Yes, my English accent is true, but I live in Canada, in the West Coast in BC, and I just want to have a little chat about that. But before we do that, let's go through this beautiful frog pond. There's one out of the shot right now, and I want to bring him through first. The MRG 1100-2. This is the only full titanium frogman, the only Master of G MRG, and it's a one-of-a-kind 21-year-old piece that is an absolute hen's tooth to find, and a collector's item nonetheless. These links, yeah, good luck trying to find one. If it doesn't fit you, I guess it's going to stay in your collection on show. This does fit me, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous watch. A lovely piece to have in the collection, and one that I will be cherishing. I don't have any spare links. I can only wear it with the dive extension open, but at least I can wear it. Plenty of people have bought this watch previously, only to find that they can't get any links and it doesn't fit. You can't get any links, you can't put any substitute links in, you can't change a bracelet. It's fitted, right? Yeah, that's a beautiful piece to have, and one of those unicorn pieces, so that stays firmly in my collection. I'm going to just put that out of the shot right now while we go through the rest of the pond real quick. So starting at the back there, we have the DW82BK Black Knight, or real black frog. This one, you can still pick these up. They're getting a little bit more scarce these days, but you can still find them. Really beautiful piece, beautiful pink dial and or module, and the beauty with this is the light. Well, full titanium at the back, but the beauty of this is the light. Now the light, you won't be able to see it too well here, but I'll turn the lights out in a second, give you a shot. The light does go blue on that. It's awesome. Really nice addition. Full titanium as well for the case and case back, and a worthy frog to have in the pond. Let's put that back carefully. You know, these frogs, I have two rules: no rebuys, and never sell frogs. Actually, never sell frogs or MRGs or MTGs, because they're just, once you get them in the collection, they should be pieces that you keep, for me anyway. But so far I'm sticking to that rule, and I'll tell you a little story about that. No rebuys comes from these two guys here, GWF-1000RD and GWF-1000BS, Basil Special and the Burning Red. So I had these a few years ago. Basically needed the funds, right? It happens to us all. Needed the funds, sold them, and I vowed I would never buy them again because of the amount they cost the first time round. This one was around about the 5.5 mark when I got it at first. This one was around about I would say the 750, 850 mark. When I bought these again, when I eventually summed up enough funds and courage to buy them again, this guy was double. This guy was, well, actually triple. This guy was like around about the 1500 mark. This guy was around about the 1800 mark. Guys, that's way too expensive, way too expensive. And I was just fortunate enough that, you know, perfect storm, tax season, sold a couple of watches, had the funds, they came up, and I snapped them. I snapped them up, and I said I would never ever do that again. So frogs don't get sold. It's way too expensive to rebuy them. When you have them, keep them, unless you're not really a frogman lover like myself. But if you have a frog in your collection and you really do like it and it's worth a lot of money, don't sell it, keep it. Because if you miss it and go through that seller's remorse, as we do as collectors, and go to try and buy it again, you will pay in blood for that frog. So little tip for you there. Okay, onwards to my Kermit GW200F-3JR. Lovely addition to the collection as well. Look at this case back, guys. If it's picking up that color, it's like a gold. The light is not doing this color justice. It is a beautiful gold color, as well as the clasp. Man, this is such a lovely, luscious looking piece. The green, you know, it stands out. The gold accents stand out. The golden, greeny module stands out as well. It's just such a beautiful, colorful frog. You know, it's the part of the Love the Sea and the Earth collection there, and that is the emblem there on the back. You can see that there. Lovely frog, lovely frog. You can still get them. Like, you know, eBay is getting really harsh these days. I would go for somewhere like a proxy service like from Japan. You do see them. Just be very wary. Try and get a full kit, because, you know, collectors who want to buy them with the box and everything else. That is a full kit. All of these are full kit watches, boxes and papers and the like. Very good to have in the collection, as well as this next guy, the poison frog or the snake killer. This guy here, GW201-6JF. Now, you're never gonna see this perfectly behind the camera. This needs direct sunlight, and you will see it in its true awesome form. The colors dance around on this. The red really plays in with the sparkle on this frog. You can probably see a little hint of the sparkle there. It kind of goes a pinky purpley color to when it's dark. It goes like when there's no direct sunlight, it goes like a muted blue color. But man, another beautiful collector's piece, and I will say another keeper, obviously, because I keep my frogs, but if you've got one, you should keep it. The prices did escalate on these, all three of these frogs, and then they kind of calmed down a bit as you know, people wanted to keep them and people didn't know about them, so there wasn't the demand to sell them. And obviously they're older frogs, right? So, you know, whenever I take pictures of those and post them, people always ask me about them, what's the model number, that kind of thing, because they're not regularly seen anymore. But beautiful pieces to have in the collection. We'll stay on this side. GWF-1035 This is the Men in Dark Purple. This guy, all of these 1000 series frogs, they're not cheap, guys. They are not cheap. You are looking at 4 figures for all. Well, I'll say this 25th stroke 35th anniversary frog, that can be got for 3 figures now. But all of these guys in their heyday, and well, now 4 figures. You're looking at 4 figures. There was a time when the jump from this kind of module to the 1000 series, when that happened, people realized that Casio have really upped the game. You know, ISO compliant Frogman watches with a ton of tech and beautiful, right? The standard one to this, the GWF-1000, is a beautiful frog, but you can get that for, I would say, 300, 400, 450, you know, for a brand new, you know, just brand new pure condition. No comparison at all to the price of these guys. These guys still go for upwards of like $1,700, $1,800. Like, you know, it's ridiculous, and all because of the colorway. It does exactly the same thing as the other 1000 series, the normal 1000 series, GWF 1000, but it's the colorway, and you can't find them, right? And be aware of fakes, guys. So many fakes out there, and they're getting better. You know, as you can see, or you probably, well, let me point it out to you. This subdial here should have a dot behind that G. See the G in the subdial? Should have a dot behind it. That dot signifies that the watch has received its atomic signal. Now, I live in Canada, in Western Canada, and the signal is spotty, to say the least. I can have a time where, like for example, Thursday night, coming into Friday morning, I always wear a frog on Fridays. All of the atomic frogs synced and received their signal. It was awesome. Every single one of them had the dot or the frog in the subdial. Awesome. The next night, the following night, Friday night, Saturday morning, none of them received. And the same Saturday night, Sunday morning, not one of them have the dot in the window, in the subdial. It's hit and miss. But if you see a frog online and you want to purchase it, I would say definitely ask for a picture of that frog or video footage. It's easy to do with our phones nowadays, right? Showing the subdial having received its atomic signal. If they can't show you that, move on to something else. I know there are places that don't receive the signal, and there are places that it's hard to receive the signal, but I'd be very wary of a watch that doesn't show you the atomic signal, or there's something, the subdial, or there's something wrong with the subdial. It doesn't look like, look at this subdial, it's very unique. When you see the second markers, they're very unique. It's very hard to replicate that perfectly. And I would definitely look at all of the Casio pictures of the actual watch and do your comparisons. Like, you owe it to yourself, guys. These are not cheap. Even this guy, second hand in the 700 mark, it's not cheap. You get a fake and you flush $700 down the toilet. So, you know, do your homework, research. You can never do too much research before you make that purchase, before you pull that trigger. Make sure you know what you bought. So as I had that one in hand, so this is the GWF-1035F. I recently did a video on this one and this guy because they're the same module. Beautiful anniversary frog. It has 25 frogs hidden all over the watch. You can see on the buttons there. Actually, the subdial, when that does have its signal and the black dot is behind it, it's not a black dot, it's a frog in there. You can probably just see the outline. Frog in the background for the light. Let me see if I can show you. Probably can't see it because it's too light here with my lights, but I'll try and show you after. Frogs on the decoration screws there, all over. There's 25 of them, but beautiful addition to the collection with the rose gold tones, accentuating the black and the red. It's just a fantastic model type. If you like frogs and you collect frogs, this is one you should have in your collection, right? And I'll move on to his cousin because I literally just got to build this one. I'm calling this the lightning yellow Magma Ocean hybrid because this is from the Magma Ocean series. This resin is from the lightning yellow Frogman, the titanium Frogman. Beautiful frog, killer expensive. That frog is like I've seen it for $7,000 for a Frogman. Bearing in mind, this guy and this guy here are no different. bar the color scheme and some decoration and the color of the module. But well, this is a bad example because that's quite expensive still, but say roughly, okay, call it 1800 7 grand, 5 grand. Okay, if you're lucky, you'll get a used one that someone really really needs the money, 3.5, 4 grand. But no, I'm not doing it. And I love my frogs, as you can see, but I'm not doing that, guys. Well, that's wicked. It's a lovely piece, but no. You can see here where what I've done is I've put the resin from the lightning yellow, and I've also carried over the rose gold piece accents, like the buttons, obviously, because they come in the module. And I also changed the keeper as well, which has the frogs on there too. So that, I waited a long time to be able to do that, and I think the 1035F frog module complements that resin perfectly, and that is another collection keeper. RD, Burning Red Frogman. This video will be a bit long, guys, so apologies for that in advance. But the Burning Red Frogman, I'll tell you a little story about this one. So when I first got into collecting G-Shocks, I saw the 7900 RD, which is, you know, this red but completely different G-Shock watch. And I bought that, and I was, you know, just trying to find out what the G-Shock, how the G-Shock had, you know, evolved since my days in the early 80s of looking at GW200F-3JR frogs, which I have, G-Shocks, which I have 3 of now in my collection. Really old pieces, but, you know, vintage pieces nonetheless, good pieces. And I saw this, and it was going for, I remember the price was $460, and I near spat my coffee out. My thing was, who is going to pay why would you pay $460 for a resin piece? Bearing in mind, I've just come from the generation of the DW002s, which suffered wickedly from resin rot. Those things crumbled in your hands at the next battery change, and you know, rendered the watch useless. But yeah, with that thought, I thought to myself, why would you pay that much money for a resin watch? I actually didn't say resin, I said plastic, because, you know, ignorance. Why would you pay that much money for a plastic watch? I had no idea, right? And it's bright red. But here's the thing. Couldn't get this watch out of my head. I was literally arguing with myself for weeks. Couldn't get it out of my head. In the end, I just started to research and find out what was so good about these watches and all the tech that was involved in them, and, you know, how Casio had stepped up their mark to make these beautiful pieces, and I fell in love with it. It was really, really weird. I fell in love with it. Anyway, I bought that one for, I think I ended up paying $550, you know, with shipping and stuff. And I remember putting it on for the first time and feeling the weight of it on my wrist. I couldn't believe that this resin watch that Casio had made was the quality. You could feel the quality in the piece when it was on your wrist. And I remember spending like just certain amounts of time during the day while I had it on, just staring at it. It was beautiful. It kept catching my eye. I loved it. And that was my entry to the Frogman, really, and I haven't stopped since, and that was 2010, so 10 years of frog relationship. G1000BS, of course, after the Burning Red, you know what us watchaholics do. We pull the trigger, and then we carry on the search. And what do you know? This guy popped up on Say Japan, and they have a way of showcasing their pieces that make you want to grab them through the screen. I needed that watch to the point where I immediately started putting money down for it, because this one at the time when I bought it first was just around about this $850, $950 mark. Put the money down, and by Christmas, oh, there you go. They didn't sync last night, but they're all on time. Put the money down, and by the Christmas of that year, I had this watch, the first one. This is obviously my rebuy, which has now evoked my non-rebuy rule. But yes, just the color scheme, and man, you try buying one, you try finding one for sale now. You'd be lucky to find one for sale now. You know, they just don't come up anymore. People who have them keep them, and you know, rightly so, because those are definitely going to be staying in my collection. So we come to my current guys, and in order of the way I purchased them, GWF-1035F. I think this one is BD. These are the Frogman with the depth gauge, or the depth meter sensor. The first one in the line with the depth meter sensor, and yeah, this is a tool watch. There's no way I could use this watch to its capabilities. I would have to be a deep sea diver to do that, and I'm not. But man, when you have one of these on the wrist, you know about it. Firstly, carbon fiber inlay in the band makes this a perfectly comfortable piece to wear, and it's heavy. The D series weight is 141 grams compared to the 115 grams of the 1000 series. This is a heavy resin, carbon fiber band watch. Beautiful. They knocked it out the park with these guys, the D series. I would buy another one. In fact, I do like the Japanese Coast Guard one, but that is killer money. That's going to have to be definitely saved up for. But yes, D series Frogman, an investment for sure. Not for the small wristed, and I say that lightly because if you've got small wrists and you like them, get them and wear them. If you feel comfortable wearing a big watch on a small wrist, then by all means. But I will say, if you have any reservations for a watch being too big on your wrist, do not, I repeat, do not go for a D series Frogman, because you will be selling it. You will be regretting it. It's a heavy piece. Probably the beauty of my collection, and this is the D1000 GWF D1000 MB marine blue, aka Tiffany, because it's Tiffany blue, but the color is really marine blue. Carbon fiber inlay as well, they all have that, but this white inside. Now, the amount of times I've seen people buy this watch and shortly after it's gone up for sale, this watch is a needy watch. When I wear this watch, and not everyone does, and I'm not telling you what to do, I just do it because I know I've had this for a number of years now. I had it when it first came out, and I do this because I want to keep it in this condition. I give it a lukewarm, soapy water bathing bath for basically every time I wear it. I wash it beforehand, and after I've worn it, I take it off and I wash it again, and that is why the white still looks white and not yellow. The blue still looks blue and not blacky, bluey, greeny. And I've had it for years. If you see some of these watches and guys have just worn them and haven't looked after them, haven't really bothered to, you know, not everyone does, and you don't have to. Why should you? It's a G-Shock, right? I'm one of those G-Shock collectors that likes to baby his watches. Shoot me. That's what I do. I baby them all. That's my thing. Maybe your thing. Like, I have a daughter. She has a baby G collection. She wears her G-Shocks as they should be worn. They're rough and rugged and beat up. She loves them, wears all of them, apart from her Johnny Cupcakes. She doesn't do that to her Johnny Cupcakes. But her baby Gs are worn as they should be. Anyway, the reason why this is in this state is not because I don't wear it. It's because I clean it before I wear it and I clean it afterwards. And that's ritualistic, guys, because that's the only way to keep a watch like this. And usually when you see them for sale, the person will say it's because it's a bear to keep clean. And it is, right? You have to be intentional to keep it clean, and I am, so therefore it's staying. And last but not least, in my frog pond, the D series Anniversary. Come on, Gold Tornado. I never even knew I would be in a position to own one of these. From Japan is a proxy service that I use, and this one was one that was, it got the used title because it was a shop display model. It's brand new. It may have been tried on, may have. I say may have because it was in the shop, but I can't tell you that it had because it's perfect. The plastic was still on it, on the clasp, the keeper, obviously not on the face because it was on display, but full kit, everything. These ones I think I'll be handing down to my son, you know, or just, they're staying in the family. They are keeper watches, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, as I say, full of tech and a beautiful piece on the wrist, full carbon fiber as they all are in the band, and ISO rated, depth meter gauge. Just a gorgeous piece to have. A gorgeous piece to have in your collection. If you're a collector, you understand. You collect pieces. You don't need a reason why. You justify it for yourself, and that's enough. As long as you have the money, you justify it for yourself, and you get what you want, right? And that's what I do. So there it is, guys. Frog Pond in its completion, in its entirety, along with this guy. So really quickly, I know a YouTuber, and most of you know him. His name is Random Rob, and he does an absolute fantastic job for the horology community. And what he does is he provides a service where you can send a watch in, one of your watches from your collection, or a few of them from your collection, to be reviewed. And he goes through the watch and he reviews them. So any potential buyers who maybe want to try a watch and, you know, don't really get much, you don't get much from pictures, you get way more from the video. He reviews the watch for the viewers, and you get a real comprehensive viewing of the watch in and out. He tells you the good, the bad, and the indifferent, and it's perfect. He also does a little sale thing on a Sundays where some people send watches in for review. I myself have sent watches to him to be reviewed and to be sold, and they sell quick, guys. eBay fees and the time it takes for the watch to sell, worse what you seek. You put the watch on there, weeks, sometimes months go by, nothing. These guys, when I've sold anything with Rob, it's taken hours. I've never had a sale or never given him a watch that's gone through to the next Sunday sale, never. So I'm saying all that to say, here's the thing. When you're in Canada and you're sending watches over to the States to, you know, get them reviewed, you're paying the charges. You're gambling with the border. Watches can be lost through the border. They can be lost through the post anyway, but you know, the border is always dicey and it's expensive, right? So us Canadian residents take more risks and spend more money sending our watches over to be reviewed. Here's where I come in. Desire68, Mike, my channel. I would like to do what Rob does for the Canadian viewers out there. So if you like my vids and you like the way I present my watches and you like the way I review my watches, that's what I would do for your watch, you know, just to share with the community. This community is fantastic. Us watch geeks, watch fanatics, watchaholics, we love to share. And what better way to do that than to share online, right? Send your watches in to me. I will review them for the general public, ship them back to you, and you haven't had to incur any border charges or any you know, you just haven't had to go through any hassle with shipping and receiving. And obviously, you know, the length of time it can be stored at a border just because the border guards want to, you know, keep it to check it out. The border just doesn't help when we want to do these reviews. So I want to be that person, that random Rob. Not that I want to be Rob, but you know, I want to be that person for our Canadian watchaholics, horologists. You know, I'll review anything you want. I'm going to be expanding to be showing more crystal changes, because I've done that. I do that, you know, module swaps, a little bit more hands-on on the watch, you know, band swaps, that kind of thing. There are a lot of things that we as watchaholics, then horologists, take for granted, that everyday people feel, oh my gosh, I can't do that. A battery, for example, you know, I wouldn't change any of these batteries, but this guy that isn't solar, I change. This guy that isn't solar, I change. Why? Because I trust myself to change it. I won't scratch the case back, and I know that I will only have to pay for a battery. When you go to a store to get one of these changed, that's if they'll even take the work on. You can get your watch back scratched to bits, right? And whatever else they do. You can't trust everyone. And if you have someone that you can trust, that's awesome. But I do my own, and I want to show people how to do it. Show people how to change a crystal, because, you know, some of us are technically able to do it, but afraid to do it because we haven't done it. The tools are inexpensive at first. You don't have to spend a lot of money to tool up and change a crystal. When I found out how easy it was to change, or it's not easy, guys. I'm not going to say easy, not easy. How, when I found out how easy it was for me to change, then, right? Accessible. I realized that I was wasting my time and money sending my watches off for months on end. And I kid you not, my watches would be away for months on end for a crystal swap. Ridiculous. I've done 3 crystals in the evening after work, in between finishing work and having dinner, and that's taking my time. You don't have to send everything off, guys. And I know some of you watch enthusiasts out there are technical enough to take on that challenge. You'll be surprised what you can do. You just need to be patient and have the right tools. But anyway, I am rambling. This video has gone killer long. I am sorry about that, guys. But if you feel that you would like to send a watch in to me to be reviewed, I'm going to add my email. My email's in all of the vids. I'm going to add my email in the mentions at the bottom there. And let's talk. Let's chat. I'll review your watch for you. You can share your watch with the watch community. And it's a service that I want to do. So there you go, guys. That's it. It's been a long video. It's been great sharing my frog pond with you. I want to bid you all a great Sunday. And lastly, I will say, as I always do, guys, wear all of your watches in the very best of health. And until next time, take care.